Welcome aboard, folks, and thank you for joining Your Voice Counts. Certainly appreciate it on this beautiful Sunday in the state of Colorado. Sunny skies, warm weather, and glad spring has sprung. We've been having some pretty good storms here, but they are gone. Folks, my guest today is a very, very special, wonderful woman. Well, I don't know how to explain it other than just a great person, and she has seen and been around some very, very influential people, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. So, Anna, please hang on. Anna OLeary, we'll get back to you in just a minute, but I have to do some USS Liberty business first, and then I'll bring you right up. Folks, if you've been watching the news at all, you know everything that's going on about Benghazi and the cover-up. Well, it's shameful, absolutely shameful. Of course it is. 4 Americans lost their lives when they could have been saved, or possibly saved, who knows. But the United States government didn't lift a finger to come help them. Not a finger. Now Congress, and especially John McCain, is going just goo-goo over this stuff. Ga. You know, he wants to go get him. He wants to go get Obama, and he wants to hold people accountable. Well, you know what, Senator McCain, that's very, very noble of you to hold these people accountable for the murder of 4 innocent Americans just doing their duty in an embassy, by the way. So, Mr. McCain, I challenge you to take as much interest in the USS Liberty, in the murder of 34 Americans on the high seas, in the wounding of 174 others, including myself. If you're so interested in protecting innocent American lives, why don't you investigate the USS Liberty? Is it because your daddy was in charge of the operation and left us out there alone to die at the hands of Israel? Is that why, Mr. McCain? If you care about Americans, you ought to think about the USS Liberty. Or maybe it's because it's okay to murder Americans as long as you're Zionist Jews. You can murder anybody you want to. You can hold them in a concentration camp, the Palestinians. Almost 2 million of them. That's fine, and we're paying for it. Is that correct, Mr. McCain? I challenge you, and I challenge the Congress, to go after the murderers of innocent Americans on the high seas. 34 brave American sailors and Marines slaughtered by the Zionist state of Israel, and you left not one finger to get to the truth. You not lift one finger to bring us before Congress. And yet, when it's the Muslims are doing the killing, boy, it's the biggest news in the world. Absolutely, these men deserve their day in court. Brave men, wonderful men. My heart breaks that they were murdered, slaughtered. I'm sure their deaths were horrible, painful, and unforgivable to the son of a SOBs that did it. So, Mr. McCain, I'm reaching out to you. Remember the USS Liberty. Yeah, it happened 46 years ago. Well, we got music coming in, folks. Support Real News, Real Talk, Real People, RBN. Support your sponsor. We'll be right back.
As many of you know, natural supplements are fantastic for your body and have 0 side effects. You need to restore your body's natural balance. Terravim strives to carry only the highest quality dietary supplements and natural vitamins that can be beneficial in helping your body recover from the impact of daily stress, allergens, illness, environmental pollution, and the aging process. Why buy from TerraVim? Simple. TerraVim provides a rewards program. Earn $1 for every $10 spent, free health consultations, free shipping on all orders, and an additional 10% discount on every order when you mention the coupon code RBN. Call 866-647-4372. That's 866-647-4372, or go to terravim.com. That's TerraVim.com. TerraVim, the best supplements on Earth.
Now more than ever, killing many viruses and bacteria in our homes and at work is important. With the flu epidemic running rampant, you need to protect yourself and your family the best you can with purified air. Our air purifiers not only kill many viruses and bacteria in the air, but on surfaces too. Our air purifiers will also kill molds, fungi, mildew, oxidizes chemical fumes and toxic gases, removes dust, pollen, pet odors, and smoke. We have portable units, HVAC and industrial size units. In our homes today, protect your family the best you can by calling 1-877-605-9200 or go to our online store at republicbroadcasting.org. Call today to receive your 10% off and free shipping on any home unit. 1-877-605-9200.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Folks, welcome back to Your Voice Counts, and I've got just a few more things to say, and then we're going to bring our wonderful guest up, Anna OLeary. Thanks for hanging on, Anna. We'll be right with you. Well, folks, you know I was on a little bit of a rant there with Senator McCain, but folks, that's just the way it is. That's the facts of life. And American servicemen shouldn't be covered up. Their murders shouldn't be covered up by the very government that we elect them to, that they're endowed to serve the people and not serve their own projects or beliefs. So, Senator McCain, again, I reach out to you. If you're going to investigate Benghazi, certainly investigate the murders of 34 Americans aboard the USS Liberty. I want to thank RBN and, of course, our board operator today, Sam, a great guy and very professional, very lucky to have him doing our show. It means the world to me. Thanks to John Statmiller. He owns the radio station. He's a man that doesn't care about getting the truth out. Even if it hurts, he doesn't care. He wants the truth. He cares about the USS Liberty. He cares about American lives a heck of a lot more than John McCain does. That's for darn sure. So thank you, RBN. Thank you for giving me a chance to remember my shipmates. They will never be forgotten in my heart or my soul until I'm dead. And I think the rest of the shipmates feel the same way. I want to thank Kat Faber, my producer, and the beautiful voice she's here on the songs. She wrote those songs many years ago for a good friend of ours, Larry Thorne. And who would know after all these years that she'd become the producer and have these hit songs on the radio on RBN. Ron Kukl, in charge of body recovery and identification, the former spy aboard the USS Liberty. He was a first-class petty officer. Without him, I couldn't do this show. And especially John Godesco, former intelligence officer aboard the USS Liberty. Excuse me. John has a site, one of the best sites on the internet, folks. Go to tinyurl.com/USS Liberty. tinyurl.com/USS Liberty. Thank you very much, John, for keeping that site up. I'm going to read a little bit here about our guest. Anna OLeary, Ireland correspondent for the Salem News, lives at home in southwest Ireland. She lived in the Middle East for 17 years. Her fascination with the area has continued unabated. Her poetry, fiction, and nonfiction are imbued with a sense of the Middle East. As a young girl, Anna went to live in Iran as an air stewardess. Well, now they call them flight attendants, but I think stewardess is more appropriate. I like that word. In February of 1976, she lived in Tehran and Caspian, commuting for her flights. She visited most places, including Sumerian city of Om. After Iran's revolution, she moved to Kuwait and to Egypt. In her second book, In Progress, Iran, Axis of Power, she paints a rich canvas of pre-revolution Iran, of Egypt caught up in turmoil, of Anwar Sadat's assassination. She was flying the peace route for Prince Al-Reza, I can't pronounce his last name, of Iran. Anna worked on the bin Laden family's private jet. Very interesting. Was a guest of Saddam Hussein in Baghdad and lived in the Royal Palace in Riyadh. Her meeting with, Riyadh. And an award-winning interior designer, she executed Palace's projects. Anna's first book, In Progress, Saudi Arabia, Axis of Power, tells of her meeting with Osama bin Laden. Her short story about Iran was published in Ropes, a literary journal, and launched in 2001. As a journalist, she has written for Al Jazeera. She has appeared on satellite channels, Press TV, as won a short story prize at KISS, Cary International Summer School, in 1996. Her poetry is published by Cary Literary and Cultural Center. Well, I hope I didn't butcher that up too bad, Anna. Welcome to Your Voice Counts, and thank you very much for being my very, very special guest today. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Phil, and it's a pleasure to talk to a man who came off the USS Liberty. It pains me too, 34 dead, 174 wounded, 800 holes in your ship. The Israelis watched the ship in daylight, reported its registration number, which I believe was Charlie Tango Romeo 5, and they still attacked you for 75 minutes. They called off the people that came to rescue you. This is nothing new, Israel. Accountability is something that's not familiar to them. Death is what they deal in. And they run the United States with organizations like AIPAC. And I'm sorry that America is made to contribute $11 billion per day of American taxpayers' money to fund the most nasty, grotesque murder machine in the world, which is the Israeli army.
Well, Anna, I tell you what, you picked that right out of my brain, because I believe exactly the same thing. I've seen the eye of the devil, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and how vicious they are. They shot at our life rafts and blew them out of the water. They wanted no survivors. That's how vicious they were. They shot at our firefighters and our stretcher bearers, anything that moved. Our ship was
I'm
one of the
aware
most...
of that, and I carried Moshe Dayan as my passenger when I worked in Egypt. He was in Aswan having a meeting with President Anwar Sadat after they made the peace. And I was the purser on the 707 that picked him up in Aswan. And he and his wife travelled back to Cairo as my passengers.
Interesting.
I was that close to him. I spoke to him and I spoke to his wife. For the Egyptians, of course, they suffered terribly because of this man. And his legacy has the Palestinians suffering now, the Syrians, the whole Middle East, anywhere that there is oil, between their stranglehold on the U.S. and what Israel is doing. I'm afraid the world is becoming a very bad place. And nothing has changed from the time they dropped napalm bombs on the USS Liberty. They dropped napalm on you, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They were trying to burn us up. War crimes, a war against America, and they did nothing about it. Our leaders, our spineless leaders then, and our spineless leaders today could care less about the murder of the men aboard the USS Liberty because Israel did it. Now, they could care less about the Palestinians.
Sorry, Phil.
Go ahead.
The Arabs have a way of describing your leaders. They have a little saying which is very nice. It says, I have him in my pocket. In other words, Israel has got your leaders in their pocket. And it's ridiculous because America gives the money to Israel. And Israel still is the one that holds America in their pocket. They answer to Israel. I mean, they themselves have said it publicly. It's on record.
Well, it is on record that I talked to Admiral Thomas Moore, and this was during, I think, the Yom Kippur War, and he was told by an Israeli general that what he needed, and this is what he was going to get, and the Admiral Thomas Moore says, listen, I can't do that. I have to go through Congress before I can do anything like that. And the general told him, you just get what I told you to get and let me worry about Congress. That's how powerful they are.
It's quite obvious.
It is obvious, and it's I don't know what the feeling is in Ireland about the United States, treating Israel with kid gloves and anything they want they can get. What is the sense in that part of your world?
Well, when I grew up in Ireland, I can tell you, as a young person here, we loved and adored America. And now we think a lot more of the Palestinians and have a lot more respect for other nations than we do for America. My granduncle, my mother's uncle, was the Vicar General of the state of Nevada. His name was Monsignor Tom Collins. And he came home every summer for a few weeks. And I grew up watching old film of America. And, it was a wonderful place. We loved America. And right now, I am sorry to tell you that I have no respect for the American government. I feel very sorry for the American people. And the young men they send into wars, they shoot them up with drugs, brainwash them, and we end up in a situation where we have American men turned into such vile animals that they are actually torturing in the most despicable way the people they meet in the Middle East. Now, I lived 17 years in the Middle East, and I loved those people. I was treated very well 90% of the time in the Middle East. And I have very happy memories of the Middle East, especially of my days in Iran.
Anna, we got to go to a break. We're going to take a couple commercials here, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Very interesting. We'll get right back to you. Real news, real talk, real people, RBN, folks. Support your sponsors on RBN. Thank you.
Ground beef, eggs, butter, cheese, soup, sandwiches, strawberries, ice cream, coffee, and more. What do these foods have in common? They all come in storable, long shelf life food for you to save and use in uncertain times. Rather, if it is a meal or a snack, For a family or just yourself, CampingSurvival.com offers a huge variety of storable food for you to be prepared anytime. Go to CampingSurvival.com to order all your food. Eat today, save it for tomorrow, or store it for years to come. CampingSurvival.com sells healthy, nutritious, storable food in number 10 cans and pouches. Order online today at CampingSurvival.com. Use code FREEDOM and receive 5% off. CampingSurvival.com. Remember, save 5% off with code FREEDOM at CampingSurvival.com on all your prepared food needs.
Herbal Healer Spring Sale. 500 parts per million colloidal silver, all sizes. COQ10 with hawthorn, glucosamine chondroitin, sea cucumber, colloidal minerals, Superfam and Super Male Plaques, colon enhancer, our top-selling liquid, Cal Mag Vitamin D, MSM Sulfur Capsules, and Elderberry Power Capsules. We also offer certificate correspondence courses in natural medicine. Free memberships and free online newsletters also available at herbalhealer.com. Herbal Healer has been serving the natural medicine industry for 25 years. This is a company you can count on. Visit herbalhealer.com today. herbalhealer.com. That's herbalhealer.com.
If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself from anything out of bounds concerning cardiovascular or diabetic circulation problems, then this might be the most important ad you'll ever hear. It is possible to acquire a 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation, which works. It is extremely effective and starts to work within days. For a long and healthy life, order today by calling 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Order online at heartandbody.com. That's heartandbody.com.
They said that Israeli forces knew not of the Liberty's true identity, and so they took advantage of the serenity.
Welcome back, folks. Here we go with our special guest today, Anna OLeary from Ireland, and it's my great pleasure. I'll tell you what, Anna, to have you online. You're a very learned person, and it is exceptional. We get some of the best guests on talk radio right here on RBN because you can't handle the truth. Anna, you know, you were talking about the American military.
Yes,
you know,
sure.
the people that serve this country honestly believe they're serving for peace and harmony and go get the bad guys. Well, this makes Israel happier than anybody to see America fighting two wars, all for the benefit for the state of Israel, Iraq and Afghanistan. Now they want us to get us in Syria and Iran. And you know, these young men and women go into battle, I do believe, with the truest of heart of protecting America when they have been hoodwinked, in my view, by the government of the United States, all for the benefit of Israel. What are your thoughts on that?
I know these people on the ground in the Middle East. I mean, during the Gulf War, I was there I was working as an interior designer on a palace in Riyadh when Kuwait was occupied. I met the Americans. In fact, I was very friendly with one young lady who manned the Patriots. And we had some connection to another American friend, and they used to come to spend time and have barbecues with us. And so I'd be very familiar with how these people think, and I think they're full of idealism. And they really believe they're doing such marvelous good for their country. However, I find this very hard to believe because I've also heard other things through friends from the States in more recent years who have had young men who have served in Afghanistan. They come home. One particular lady that I'm very close with told me her son doesn't want to talk to anybody, doesn't want to mix. And he had served 2 terms in Afghanistan, and I think might be pulled back for a third one, was her fear at that time. But it had definitely damaged him. And I think in more recent years, the idealism gets blown away pretty quick when they see the type of fighting they're doing. They're breaking down doors. They're going into homes of people. It is total thuggery what is going on. There's terrible torture and rape going on in the military now. Everything has changed rather dramatically recently. I don't think it's their fault. I mean, psychologists will tell you that put in those situations that this is how the human being turns out. And unfortunately, America is fighting war after war the way Israel did. And when they look at Iran, which is my adopted country, because I absolutely love and adore Iran, it was the country I was happiest in. And I was very young there, and the people are very hospitable, and rich and poor, the poorest of people have invited me to their homes. In the time of the Shah, there was people who lived in huts, who had cardboard on the floor instead of carpet. And I have sat on their cardboard, and I have broken bread with them. And it would be insulting to them if I didn't go to their home. And I have been out in the country and all over Iran. I've met all sorts of people. And, you know, to a person, they were good people. And Iran has never waged a war on any country. And now America is looking at attacking Iran. And you know, this is so nasty because Iran is not the aggressor. America is. And no matter what spin they put on it, we all know Iran is not the aggressor. Iran has oil. Iran has been shunned by America since the American hostages were captured by the Iranian students after the Shah fled. And since then, Iran has made itself very independent of America. It's had to work without America. I mean, they set up the biggest steel factory, I think, in the world or something in Iran. They produce almost everything for themselves. They're terribly independent. But America is out to break them. And this is to facilitate Israel, who sees Iran as a threat. And it seems Israel thinks everybody is a threat. And they have the nuclear facility in Israel. They lied for years over it. And the wonderful man that was the whistleblower for this was supposed to be released. But they are keeping him in Israel and not giving him his freedom. And, you know, they don't like being caught. But they're the biggest liars in the world. And they are manipulating war all the time. I think that, for me personally, there would be no peace in that area until the Israelis leave and go back to where they came from. And Helen Thomas said this, and they have all these laws saying it's politically incorrect.
Anna, we got to go to another break. Then we got an 18-minute run with no commercials. Folks, we'll be right back. Real news, real talk, real people, RBN, because you can't handle the truth. Thanks for listening in.
The bombs were coming down. It would be too late for liberty.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
For many years, coffee lovers have learned that for the freshest coffee, you need to roast your own beans. Unfortunately, that usually meant paying more per pound for coffee than you could get it at the local grocery. Those wanting to store rich coffee for long-term use have been frustrated with the lack of quality coffee available with a long shelf life. So we usually settle for brand name coffee, either ground or instant. But now we have another solution. Canned green coffee beans. Green coffee beans have not been roasted. And since the bean is not cracked yet, the shelf life is many years longer than roasted or ground coffee. Due to the way it's packed, you can expect these to stay fresh for 20 plus years. Go to campingsurvival.com to order your canned green coffee beans. A single can is only $11.94. Order online today at campingsurvival.com. Use code FREEDOM and receive 5% off. campingsurvival.com. campingsurvival.com.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
The 5 self-evident truths of the Declaration of Independence are the standing definition of our Republican form of government. Each unalienable right has an attached duty because we are all created equal. Like the right, the duty is permanent and non-transferable. There can be no paper to lien the right and no paper to waive the duty. Deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed does not mean if you can think of it, you can consent to it. Truly, it names a condition where a right must be held without violation of its duty by both parties who can then consent. Our grand jury has been destroyed without the consent or the right. Return the grand jury customarily impaneled by the elected county sheriff and one where people can appear with information. McGilvery Machine Company, Reading, Michigan. Innovative research and development of prototype industrial equipment since 1988.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you very much for hanging on. And as the beautiful song sang by Kat, it's about time the story be told. Well, the story needs to be told before this world goes under. And it very well could go under. As Anna alluded to, the nuclear weapons that Israel possesses, they don't admit to anything. And people say, well, they got 200 to 250 to 300. Well, I don't believe that. I believe they got much more than that because they always overdo everything. The more power, the more greed, the more destruction they can put on the world, they will do it. And I know you've heard of the Samson option, and I certainly believe that Israel would take that path. You're also talking about this man, I believe you were talking about Mordecai Vanunu, that has been unjustly put in prison, beaten, starved to death. Anything you can say about Mordecai, it's happened to him, and all he did was tell the truth. And you were talking about people fighting in Afghanistan. My oldest son fought in Afghanistan. He didn't come back the same as he was. He spent 24 months in the Wounded Warrior program before he was retired out of the Army. So I know exactly what you're talking about, Anna. These young men and women go over there one way and they come back another. And it's just not right that we do this to our young people, fighting wars we shouldn't be fighting, for a government we shouldn't support. As you said before, $11 million a day we give them. It used to be 8, now it's 11. And we have to borrow every nickel of that. You know, if there's a catastrophe in the United States, like storms or hurricanes or anything of that nature, you think Israel gives anything back to the United States? No, they don't. All they do is they want to take more and more and more. Now, folks, listen, if you want to call in and talk to Anna, call 800-313-9443, and you can talk to Anna and myself, and we'll go on from there. But Anna, I was thinking during the break that you saw Moshe Dayan up close and personal. What type of person or attitude did he have towards you?
Well, he boarded an Aswan on a plane that was configured in all economy. So they boarded from the front steps, all the passengers. They boarded him and his wife first, and they sat behind the bulkhead at the front of a 707. Then they boarded all the passengers. So it was a bit of a difficult position for him in Egypt. And I stood with my back to them so that I shielded them from view from most of the passengers as they passed. And I think he was very exhausted. His wife said he was. And he sat with his head back on the headrest and clammy pallor. And he never really moved or talked during the whole flight. But then I guess somebody like that doesn't have a lot of emotion. And that's just what you would expect, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I expect. A person that would be the architect of so many crimes, especially the murder of my shipmates aboard the USS Liberty, is beyond comprehension, beyond belief. And what's even more, as you said, in their pocket, these people have our government, our whole system in their pocket. And it's pretty soon that pocket's going to bust. And where do we go from there?
Well, it's a very frightening situation. I had another experience that would relate to Moshe Dayan. My riding instructor in Egypt, I had a black Arabian stallion, and I took him to Nadi Shams Farisiya, which is the Al-Shams Equestrian Center, which was near the hotel I lived in Heliopolis. And my riding instructor had been an international 3-day event rider who had been cashiered because of the Israelis. He had been governor of the Sinai before the Six-Day War. And, of course, we know Israel prepared for the Six-Day War for 15 years. And his name was Wolfgang Lotz, or he came under that name, a German, supposedly, called Wolfgang Lotz. He befriended all my friends in the riding area and bought up a lot of horses and was especially friendly with General Gorab, where he went on weekend hunting and riding holidays across the desert and the Sinai with him. And for the purpose of planning their trips, General Gorab gave him the Ordnance Survey maps that were obviously belonged to the Egyptian government. He gave all this information to Israel, and on their rides, he would see where the aircraft shelters were. And unfortunately, the general, thinking he was talking to a German friend, would tell him, oh, those ones are wood and they're not real, and those ones are real. And that's how Israel never wasted one bomb during the Six-Day War. They took out everything, and they took out the Israeli Air Force, as you know, the Egyptian Air Force at the beginning of the war. And my riding instructor was cashiered over this because the Israeli spy was in his house, staying with him in a hunting lodge. when Nasser had all the foreigners questioned, they initially didn't believe Lotz when he was saying that he was a spy and gave all the information. And the reason he did it, he'd married a German, and she had her elderly parents staying with her in Cairo, and he was worrying for their safety. So he crumbled, and he actually gave the information. So it very much touched my life seeing the destruction he brought to the family of General Gorab, who was no longer a general, having been cashiered, of course.
Wow. It's unbelievable. I mean, just hearing your voice and your explanation of being up close with these people is history making. It's we're just opening a door here of history that you saw up close. It's just unbelievable. Anna, we have a caller from Sacramento. We have several of them, but I want to. Do you mind taking a few questions from callers?
If I can answer them, so I will.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, Sam, let's bring up Dave from Sacramento. Dave, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, what brings you to Your Voice Counts, Dave?
Yes, I would like to ask the woman, I understand that she's well-versed in the culture of the Iranian people. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and how recently have you been in residence there? How recently?
Oh, I would have been said goodbye to by Khomeini when he came to power. I flew for Iran Air in the days of Shah of Iran.
Okay.
I would have left at that point, and I would have been living in Egypt when the Shah's family were in Egypt, and I would have taken the Shah's youngest son, now deceased, Prince Ali Reza, a gorgeous young man. I used to take him, he was only 14 or 15 then, I used to take him horse riding.
Uh-huh. Do you have any contact with those people, or do you have any...
Yes, I have contact with them still.
Okay, so you have continuity as far as your contact and the general direction of the country as far as their internal affairs. Is that correct?
No, not really. I'm not in contact with people. I'd be more in contact with people that are abroad than people that are still there. And even though I would have friends that are still there, I would be very reticent about being in contact with them because obviously it's not such an open society. Not anymore.
I understand.
Never was, probably.
The reason I'm asking, one thing we're going to start to hear from the media will be the particular aspects of culture in Iran, specifically the rights of women. Okay? So what they're going to say, and I know what they're going to say, is that the women are enslaved, that they're oppressed, and all this other stuff. Now, you lived there, so you would know whether this was the case, at least during your tenure there. Whether in the Iranian culture that women are going to be oppressed and basically deprived of rights. Is that correct?
Well, Iranian women are very intelligent, very beautiful, I have you know. I guess they have the most beautiful eyes I've seen in the world. And I suppose it's like anywhere in the world. If a woman is married to a man who's very conservative, then she has to behave in a very, in our culture too, in a very conservative manner. And if you're married to a more free-thinking man, then you can be much more open and liberal, shall we say. And so, you know, you can never across the board say it's like this or like that. I mean, for me, having lived among Americans, I would see some of the Southern Baptists as being very repressed compared to us in Ireland, where we're Catholic, but we're not sort of very entrenched in our Catholicism.
As am I.
Despite what you may think. So the answer isn't yes or no. Of course, Iran's government has changed. And it is easing up, I believe. They weren't allowing in the early years for women to wear makeup, and, they put a lot of restrictions. And I believe there's some ease and some given. There's quite a bit. But I wouldn't be up to date on it. So I wouldn't really be the correct person to tell you about that.
Well, I think what is going to happen as they ramp up more propaganda against Iran with the purpose of, shall we say, convincing Americans to back an invasion of our forces into Iran. That is one thing they're going to do, is they're going to say that the women are oppressed, that it's a very misogynist society, and that, they're very backward culture and regressive and all this other stuff. In addition,
I'll be very sad if American women or American people are so naive to believe this, because they went to Afghanistan to liberate the women of Afghanistan. And we saw what America has managed in Afghanistan. It is an absolute disgrace what they have done in Afghanistan. And the life of the women in Afghanistan has been made worse by America's intervention.
Well, anytime you bomb people, you're going to reduce their standard of living. But the main problem I see with the way the media is going to ramp up this propaganda is they're going to attack the culture of that country, the Iranian culture. And that is one aspect of that culture that they're going to emphasize, because it will, of course, encourage American women to endorse military action against Iran. But I understand you have a Liberty veteran there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm a survivor from the attack on the USS Liberty.
Okay, you might want to talk to a gentleman here in Sacramento. Actually, he lives in San Francisco. His name is Gene Burns, and he is a complete Israel apologist about that event. He will tell you knee-jerk instantly that was an accident, and they apologize profusely and all this other stuff. And you can't get a word in edgewise with this clown, but I believe you guys before I would believe him.
Well, hey, Dave, God bless you for that. And, we're eyewitnesses to cold-blooded, premeditated murder.
Well, he does. So he thinks it was all an accident, and he's actually angry at people who try to press the issue as far as what you witnessed, and he will actually hang up before you have a chance.
That's typical Israeli propaganda.
Oh, he is. He's a total Israel-phile. He's always...
Hey, I'll tell you what, folks. Dave, very, very interesting conversation with Anna. We got a couple more callers. I always try to get everybody in. Dave, listen again and come back on our show. You're a smart guy, and I appreciate you listening to Your Voice Counts on RBN, the best radio station in this country. Please call back in again, sir. Let's take Lark in Texas, please.
Well, hello, Phil, and to your guest.
Yeah, hello, Lark. How you doing? What brings you to Your Voice Counts?
Well, listen, I wanted to pose an honest question for your guest here. A number of years ago, I had an Iranian American who worked for me. The gentleman had 2 advanced degrees from Oxford University, and I was surprised, although I was very happy to have him in my employ, albeit part-time, because he was an electrical engineer. And he could do repairs on European equipment that others could not. He could also repair circuit boards. So he was quite valuable, and we became friends. But I learned that his father was a billionaire. In fact, he owned construction companies and a lot of real estate, and his family was one of the wealthiest families in Iran, close to the Shah. And, of course, his family was lost a lot of their property tied up in the judicial process because there was like 8 members of his family, and none of them, after his father died, could receive their inheritance because the new regime, after the Shah was ousted, would not permit access to that inheritance. But my question for you is this. I have since learned that this Iranian American was actually Jewish. And so I've heard rumors in the past that the Shah of Iran was Jewish. Is this true?
Not to my knowledge, I doubt it, but he was the Shah of Iran was not Jewish, but he was also not Arab. So Iranians are Aryans, they are not Arab.
We gotta go to a break, folks. We'll be right back in just a few minutes, and we'll finish up the rest of the show. Hang on, and we got another caller, George in Arizona. We'll get to you. This is Real News, Real Talk, Real People, RBN, because you can't handle the truth. We'll see you in just a few moments. Thanks.
Golden Stag Safaris invites you to hunt in one of Argentina's most beautiful scenarios. Enjoy the quietness of the Pampas and the 5-star accommodation lodge. Excellent food and wine included in your stay. All the while hunting big game in the Argentine Valley, an area known for having a wide range of game, excellent trophies, the biggest stags in South America, as well as many other species. All gold medal quality. One-on-one guided hunts, rental guns available with the highest quality scopes in every caliber, Land Rovers for transport, pick up at Buenos Aires Airport, and a private aircraft for charter is all available. Go to www.goldenstagsafaris.com to see photos and for more information. Again, www.goldenstagsafaris.com.
Time to relax and unwind. What better way to do so than with Santa Barbara Bells? For over 25 years, our wind chimes have been helping people to relax and enjoy life. Turn your home environment into a pleasurable experience. From the small overture chime to the large super bass, you will find just the right chime to enjoy. All wood, strings, and cordage are protected for long life, and all parts are rust-proof. You have 10 sizes to choose from. To see and hear more of the chimes, go to santabarbarabells.com or call us at 805-733-1513. Santa Barbara Bells is currently having a springtime sale. Come to the website and save up to 50% on all of our chimes. santabarbarabells.com.
With financial uncertainty circling the globe due to job losses, decline in the housing market, a climate of corruption, bailouts, currency rigging, and unfair competition, many are once more turning to precious metals as the only hedge against the uncertainty of the future. With the U.S. House conducting hearings on proposals to confiscate workers' personal retirement accounts, including 401ks and IRAs, this is the time to secure your assets. Call Republic Trading Group today, 800-691-7898 before this happens, and find out how easy it is to convert your existing IRA and in some instances your 401k plan into real wealth now. Don't let the ravages of hyperinflation caused by the massive increase of fiat currency now flooding world markets affect your retirement account. Call RTG at 800-691-7898 and experience the security and peace of mind that only real gold and silver can offer. That number again is 800-691-7898. Call now.
Welcome back, folks. Here we go for the last few minutes of Your Voice Counts with Anna OLeary. And I certainly want to thank everybody's called in, especially our last two callers. And Lark, please call in the show again, and I hope you listen and get your friends to listen in to RBN, the best radio station in America as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, sir. And we got to go to George in Arizona because I always like to get all my callers a chance to talk to our guests. So thank you, Lark, and we'll be talking to you later. George, Arizona, please come on in.
Yeah, hi again, Phil.
Hi.
I was one of your guests a month and a half ago or so.
Yes. Hey, George. Yeah, I remember you, George. You're a good old boy.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for calling out McCain. As he's supposedly my senator, I chew his ass out on the phone consistently. I am really appreciative of Anna's views on turning this into what it should be, an international issue. This is a war crime, and it's good to hear that people are trying to call it what it is. And I've been talking to Anna through Cat for the last day, and thank you through Facebook, saying I will send you a message. We're both involved in aviation, and if you ever flew on Khalid Shah's Canadair Challenger, my name is all over the maintenance records. So I'm glad I did my job well.
Well, George, I am too, and it was nice to have you as one of my guests on the show. I remember it very well, and your voice is very distinct. And I know that you love America, but you don't love the direction we're going. And when Anna said, I asked her the question of the view of people that, of course, don't live here in Ireland. What a beautiful, beautiful place. My mother-in-law's parents grew up there and immigrated to the United States. But Anna, we talked about this a few minutes ago. What can America do to change the attitude as the people in Ireland and Europe and let's say all around the world? Why do they hate us so much?
We don't hate you, George or Phil. We pity what is going on. America needs to look after Americans. America needs to start looking after its own people. Why is America going abroad and fighting all these wars and killing innocent people? And what I see is every time the UN has a veto, it's the Americans against the Palestinian people. We Irish people went through a Holocaust of our own, our famine. We lost 1.9 million people who died in this country. Yes. And 1 million went on the ships to America. Now, here we have Palestine, and the people are dying there. They're kept on little rations that barely support life, and every once in a while, America does to them what they did to the USS Liberty. It happens again and again and again.
Oh, yes, thank you, Anna. Come back again soon. Thank you, George. God bless all of you. Real News, Real Talk, Real People, RBN, because you can't handle the truth. Thank you, Sam. Great job again.
I can. Are we off air now?
When it's the Muslims are doing the killing, boy, it's the biggest news in the world. Absolutely, these men deserve their day in court. Brave men, wonderful men. My heart breaks that they were murdered, slaughtered. I'm sure their deaths were horrible, painful, and unforgivable to the son of a SOBs that did it. So, Mr. McCain, I'm reaching out to you. Remember the USS Liberty? Yeah, it happened 46 years ago. Well, we got music coming in, folks. Support Real News, Real Talk, Real People, RBN. Support your sponsor. We'll be right back.
As many of you know, natural supplements are fantastic for your body and have zero side effects. You need to restore your body's natural balance. TerraVim strives to carry only the highest quality dietary supplements and natural vitamins that can be beneficial in helping your body recover from the impact of daily stress, allergens, illness, environmental pollution, and the aging process. Why buy from TerraVim? Simple. TerraVim provides a rewards program. Earn $1 for every $10 spent, free health consultations, free shipping on all orders, and an additional 10% discount on every order when you mention the coupon code RBN. Call 866-647-4377.
Sailing in international waters, off the coast of Sinai, into the Mediterranean Sea.
Welcome aboard, folks, and thank you for joining Your Voice Counts. Certainly appreciate it on this beautiful Sunday in the state of Colorado. Sunny skies, warm weather, and glad spring has sprung. We've been having some pretty good storms here, but they are gone. Folks, my guest today is a very, very special, wonderful woman. Well, I don't know how to explain it other than just a great person, and she has seen and been around some very, very influential people, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. So, Anna, please hang on. Anna OLeary, we'll get back to you in just a minute, but I have to do some USS Liberty business first, and then I'll bring you right up. Folks, if you've been watching the news at all, you know everything that's going on about Benghazi and the cover-up. Well, it's shameful, absolutely shameful. Of course it is. 4 Americans lost their lives when they could have been saved, or possibly saved, who knows. But the United States government didn't lift a finger to come help them. Not a finger. Now Congress, and especially John McCain, is going just goo-goo over this stuff. Ga. You know, he wants to go get him. He wants to go get Obama, and he wants to...
72. That's 866-647-4372, or go to terravim.com. That's TerraVim.com. TerraVim, the best supplements on earth.
Now more than ever, killing many viruses and bacteria in our homes and at work is important. With the flu epidemic running rampant, you need to protect yourself and your family the best you can with purified air. Our air purifiers not only kill many viruses and bacteria in the air, but on surfaces too. Our air purifiers will also kill molds, fungi, mildew, oxidizes chemical fumes and toxic gases, removes dust, pollen, pet odors, and smoke. We have portable units, HVAC and industrial size units. In our homes today, protect your family the best you can by calling 1-877-605-9200 or go to our online store at republicbroadcasting.org. Call today to receive your 10% off and free shipping on any home unit. 1-877-605-9200.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Well, finally, the officials back in Washington.
Folks, welcome back to Your Voice Counts, and I've got just a few more things to say, and then we're going to bring our wonderful guest up, Anna OLeary. Thanks for hanging on, Anna. We'll be right with you. Well, folks, you know, I was on a little bit of a rant there with Senator McCain, but folks, that's just the way it is. That's the facts of life, and you know, American servicemen shouldn't be covered up. Their murders shouldn't be covered up by the very government that we elect them to, that they're endowed to serve the people and not serve their own projects or beliefs. So, Senator McCain, again, I reach out to you. If you're going to investigate Benghazi, certainly investigate the murders of 34 Americans aboard the USS Liberty. I want to thank RBN and, of course, our board operator today, Sam, a great guy and very professional, very lucky to have him doing our show. It means the world to me. Thanks, John Statmiller. He owns the radio station. He's a man that, you know, doesn't care about getting the truth out. Even if it hurts, he doesn't care. Hold people accountable. Well, you know what, Senator McCain, that's very, very noble of you to hold these people accountable for the murder of 4 innocent Americans just doing their duty in an embassy, by the way. So, Mr. McCain, I challenge you to take as much interest in the USS Liberty, in the murder of 34 Americans on the high seas, in the wounding of 174 others, including myself. If you're so interested in protecting innocent American lives, why don't you investigate the USS Liberty? Is it because your daddy was in charge of the operation and left us out there alone to die at the hands of Israel? Is that why, Mr. McCain? If you care about Americans, you ought to think about the USS Liberty. Or maybe it's because it's okay to murder Americans as long as you're Zionist Jews. You can murder anybody you want to. You can hold them in a concentration camp, the Palestinians, almost 2 million of them. That's fine, and we're paying for it. Is that correct, Mr. McCain? I challenge you, and I challenge the Congress, to go after the murderers of innocent Americans on the high seas. 34 brave American sailors and Marines slaughtered by the Zionist state of Israel, and you lift not one finger to get to the truth. You not lift one finger to bring us before Congress. And yet,